Hello, hello. What is going on? What is going on? It is Amber the Activator, founder of Brandfield Activation. And y'all, I wanted to honestly do a quick live. Really quick live. We would not be here long. Um, but I wanted to talk about how you could be losing thousands of dollars and not even knowing it when you are outreaching for these partnerships and sponsorships. So if you follow us on any of the other platforms, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram. If you don't follow us on LinkedIn at Brownfield Activation, you can also follow me, the founder, at Amber the Activator on LinkedIn as well, and as well on Instagram, Amber the Activator. Okay, but lately we have been getting inquiries about what is happening. Like, why aren't people sponsoring our event? And there could be a ton of reasons why, right? But one of the most important that people are missing, and there are three main things, okay, is misaligned goals between you and your team, you and your event, and or you and the sponsor, underrepresented, underprepared teams, not underrepresented, underprepared teams, and then complicated processes. Okay. And so I'm going to go through these three reasons why you could be losing out on thousands of dollars just because of these three major things. This is what I normally see across the board. This is and it could be on both sides, both the, people that are doing the outreach as well as the actual sponsor. Okay. So what do I mean about misaligned goals? So, and this will be a whole nother conversation for another day. But one of the things that many event organizers or hosts miss is understanding the goal and the purpose and the value of the event, right? You know, your event is more than bringing people together under one roof. It could be creating an economic boost due to the education of something, right? It could be a platform to allow others to, source opportunities. It could be a lot of different things, but in order to get to that, right, that purpose, that true impact driver, you have to sit down and think. And so if you do not have those goals or that in mind, it leads to being when you're talking to sponsors, it leads to misaligned goals, right? A lot of people, when they go to a sponsor, you have a deck ready, you have your sponsorship tiers, but you do not have the potential return or the impact that can come for the sponsor. That is a big red flag. We are not giving you any money because we want that money back, right? You, especially if you, whether you have a small business or a big business, you want a return on what you put out. So in your sponsorship decks, you must say that. Obviously, yes, every business will have a different return, but you should be able to create the story, create the opportunity, create the vision for the sponsor to see that, hey, if we invest 5,000, we see that our exact audience will be there. We will now have an opportunity to directly talk with them, get direct feedback, potentially have a direct conversion, right? And we could potentially yield those funds back. And if we don't, we could be taking a risk, right? So I want you all to think about your ideal sponsors and what your event, your program, your fundraiser, your initiative is about, making sure they are aligned with what the sponsors' goals are for their business or for whatever they're doing, right? If I'm with Activate Live, it makes sense for me to reach out to, say, CRM systems or, payment processor companies, because my audience, which will be solopreneurs, it will be teams that have not teams, but companies that maybe have teams of like 3 to 5, etc. Those people need systems. Those people need to be able to pay invoices. Those people need those direct products. So it makes sense for me to reach out to sponsors like that, right? But if I'm just trying to say, hey, I want to reach out to Nike to sponsor, I'm not saying it doesn't have a correlation, but it doesn't have a direct correlation. So they wouldn't necessarily be prompted to, fund me in a sense. So I want you all to think about that. Misaligned goals. Do you really have a goal for not just your event or your initiative, whatever it is, but do you have a goal for the potential sponsor, right? Number two, unprepared teams. Okay, y'all. I'm not sure who told y'all, and I'm like looking at my notes while I'm going back and forth. I don't know who or what. Maybe it was chat. I don't know what you all are using, but you have to be prepared to even secure a partner or a sponsor. You need to know what you're doing because you have a deck that has, oh, we're going to give you this and the third, does not mean you are prepared. If somebody says yes, what is the next step? Are they signing a contract? Where are they sending the check? You know, if there are physical items, where are they sending that? Right? How are you keeping up with the things that you've promised them? You have to have the back end in order to actually secure a sponsor because they're going to ask those questions. So that's what I mean about underprepared teams. A lot of people are just going for the gold and not training. You're trying to go to the Olympics, but you're not training. I think that's a perfect analogy. I love it. All right. So I need to make sure that you are preparing yourself. If you don't know how to prepare yourself, that is where you come to us. We at Brandfield Activation can give you all of that information. How do you get the information from us? You just need to press the page that says get started. Fill out that quick form with your name, your email, and what you're looking for, and one of the activation team members will get in contact with you. That is how you prepare. Is there a general list of things to prepare for? Yes. Again, a contract. One in your contract, it can have a lot of different things. Again, it will be nuanced based on what's happening, but you want whatever you are promising them, that needs to be laid out. If some people want their sponsors to help them promote something, that needs to be laid out. Every single thing that you want to happen needs to be laid out in that contract, right? And then you also need to have terms like, say, for instance, the sponsor doesn't want to continue. What does that process look like? Do they need to call you, email you? What? You know, so you need to think about that. Contract obviously need to have like the way for them to pay. So they're paying by check, if they're paying by ACH, whatever they're paying by, you need to have those systems set up. And you need to have a tracking system, right? So, you know, if you're looking for 5-10 sponsors for certain things, how are you tracking them? How are you making sure that they are covered? So again, that is what I mean about being unprepared. What are you doing on the back end to make sure that in end of the day, in post event, everything is successful? Okay. And then lastly, again, talking about everything on the back end, complicated stuff. You want to make it easy as possible, right? So whether your event is big or small, it should not take 20 steps to do one thing, right? You have essentially one contract that you essentially put all of those terms into. It could be cool once they sign the contract. Thank you. Now, here is the simple way to, to make a payment. You can either send a check to its address or you pay through this link, right? Then a simple, process. Post event, we will send you a recap, and we'll get on a call and answer and talk about it if you want. Make it very simple. But a lot of people do just a lot and usually they do a lot when it's a bigger brand. I can say that. Usually bigger brands have 5 approvals for one thing. And that is sometimes causing people to turn away. And also too, on the other side, you as the person that is seeking sponsorship, you should ask that question when you're speaking to these potential partners. Say, hey, what does your internal process looks like to, approve this? And what do we need to have in order for the process to run smooth? That is a legitimate question that a lot of people do not ask. And I encourage you all to ask those questions when you are on the phone with these people. Okay. I want you all to really understand what they need. We get so many calls and questions on what what is the system and the process to secure these sponsors. And while yes, there are generic things, there are also nuance. A company that is 10,000 people has a completely different process than a company of 5. So you just have to be transparent and ask that question in the beginning. All right. So boom, we hit 10 minutes and I wanted to get done with this in 15. So this is perfect. So again, if you are trying to prepare for sponsors for your upcoming event, where it is currently, trying to secure partners, having luck, I encourage you all to schedule a free call with the activation team so we can identify where you are and identify these gaps. Again, these are 3 of the top gaps that we see on our end, but we will be happy to help you navigate this so that you can secure these sponsorship dollars and these partnerships that you desire. So again, visit us at www.brandfeltactivation.com. We are excited to help activate live with you. Again, make sure you follow us at Brandfelt Activation on LinkedIn. If you'd like to follow me as the founder, I am Amber the Activator on LinkedIn as well as Instagram. And with that being said, happy activating you all. And I can't wait to activate with you.